T here of Bed Crime Stories. How y'all doing? Hope you're having a great day. I've actually got some work going on at the house, so you may hear the sounds of construction in the background. You may also hear my cats because they're locked up with me. I apologize in advance, but I figured you'd rather have this content with some noises in the background than no content at all. Although the Los Angeles Police Department is saying Hana Kobayashi walked of her own volition into Mexico without anyone else, her family is not convinced that there's no foul play. And honestly, how does anyone know for sure that no one else was with Hana crossing the border? Maybe that person was staying apart from her, or maybe they were waiting for her in Mexico. A couple of details still don't make sense, and I'm not the only person who thinks this. A private detective and retired FBI agent named Tom Simon is calling on the LAPD to release the Customs and Border Protection video. He said, quote, "I'm very skeptical of this idea that she voluntarily walked across the border to Mexico. I think it's entirely possible that the LAPD misidentified a person in this video with all the other border crossings. As such, I'm calling on LAPD to release the video publicly. The family will know if it's Hana," end quote. Simon told that to Hawaii News Now on Tuesday. Here are some of my questions. 1. Why did Hana head over to the Grove shopping area twice in LA after not getting on her connecting flight to New York? Did she arrange to meet someone there? She's not from LA. Someone she'd maybe only communicated with online. Or do the cops know from surveillance camera footage that she was alone every minute that she spent at the Grove? 2, there's a point at which Hana's text messages become really weird, and where the language she uses and her style of communication change to such a degree that her family says it doesn't even sound like Hana wrote them. Is this A, because somebody else really did write those messages? B, because Hana deliberately tried to make it sound like someone else so that her family would believe someone had control over her to sell that story as she willingly disappeared? Or C, because Hana really is having some type of mental health crisis? I think Occam's razor would lead us to choose option B, if we believe the LAPD when they say Hana's alone and doing this disappearing act deliberately. I'm also tending to option B, wherein she deliberately is playing with language to create a sense that somebody else is writing, because Hana, per the LAPD, arranged to have her luggage, which had been ferried by the airline to New York, she arranged to have it sent back to LAX. That takes some logical, rational thinking to do and pull off. That tells me Hana is, at least to some extent, still in charge of her mind. She also, if we are to believe LAPD once again, figured out public transportation to the San Ysidro border crossing into Mexico. That too takes a mind that is not completely off its rocker. I also have a question about 3. The police say the guy seen on video with Hana getting off the metro station at the Pico stop is not involved in any foul play. So what was his connection to or interaction with Hana? Was he just helping her as a good citizen to find her way? And if so, why did her family say she appeared to be under the control of this person and that she did not look well in the video? How did the family get that wrong if Hana was indeed not in danger at that point? 4, is it possible that the tarot card reading indicated to Hana that she needed to head to Mexico? Or did the reading maybe confirm a plan Hana had to head to Mexico that she maybe wasn't 100% sure of until she got the reading? Hana's family, unlike the LAPD, says they are continuing to search for her. And while they hope that Hannah is safe, they're not convinced that she isn't under duress. Her sister Sydney appeared on News Nation and asked Hannah to let the family know she's safe. The family has also retained a legal analyst who works for News Nation named Sarah Azari to represent them. Sydney is sure that if Hannah found out about her father's death, she would have definitely reached out by now. So either Hannah doesn't know because she supposedly left her phone at LAX, or her personality has completely changed, or she's unable to reach out for some reason. Sydney, by way of Sarah Azari, said that it's important to note that Hannah's family consists of Sydney, Hannah's sister, their mother, Brandy Yee, and their uncle. And that's that side. It does not consist of their aunt, Lori Pigeon. Sydney herself said, quote, "I will do whatever to protect our family at this point, and do whatever I can to still find my sister, and I no longer want to have any connection with the confusion that I feel she," meaning Lori Pigeon, "caused since this case started with my sister." End quote. It turns out that Pigeon, in some people's minds, looks as though she's made Hannah's disappearance about herself, and she's maybe trying to profit off the situation. Lori calls herself a digital creator and a full-time nomad. She also states on her Instagram that she's currently in Los Angeles, despite people saying that she lives in the Hudson Valley. It appears that Lori deleted some stories on her Instagram that people were questioning. I wanted to take a look at those, but there weren't any stories there when I looked. But here's another unexplained detail. Why did Hannah's family not tell us that Hannah had disappeared once before? That would have been critical information. They've made it sound like Hannah is just not a person to do this type of thing. But if the reports are true, then she has done it before. Now, the family, according to Newsweek, has hired a private investigator to investigate the case. Some people fear that Hannah, because she followed the Twin Flames people, that's a group that's kind of considered a cult. They tell you that you have a twin flame out there, basically a soulmate, and they tell you who that person is, and you're supposed to go there and find that person and get together and let them know that they're your soulmate. Is it possible that Hannah was told to find her soulmate, and is that why she may be, we don't know for sure, in Mexico? This is indeed one of the strangest cases I've ever covered. It does remind me of the Debbie Collier case. Remember her? She strangely sent a $2,000 plus Venmo to her daughter before she disappeared. She was later found deceased under extremely strange circumstances, and the cops later ruled that she had unalived herself, which I still don't buy. I'm not saying that anything bad has happened to Sydney. I'm just saying that it's weird because she also sent 2 Venmos to people before she disappeared. You know what's also weird is they say that she left her cell phone somewhere around LAX. It was turned off and apparently she doesn't have it with her. At least that's what LAPD is saying. But then why was it so important to her to head over to the Grove, to the Toshin bookstore, where she charged the phone? That's what the store clerks said. She charged her phone there. At that point, it was important to her to charge her phone. But I've also found that weird because don't most people carry a charger with them? I not only carry a charger, but I carry batteries I have charged up just in case I can't find an outlet. And is it possible right now that Hannah really has no clue that her father jumped off the 7th level of a parking structure near LAX and unalived himself? Sydney says that if Hannah knew about that, she would definitely contact them. I know she's in Mexico. Maybe she doesn't speak Spanish. She doesn't have her cell phone. Could she avoid seeing all news reports? seeing her face on the TV. I guess it's possible if she's making a real attempt to disconnect. But again, the family says this is all so out of character. Then again, supposedly she disappeared at least once before. I also find it odd that Ryan Kobayashi jumped off that structure. If he wanted to find his daughter, he needed to stick around. It sounds like they must have surveillance video showing that he fully jumped. It's like they're saying Hannah willfully crossed the border. I would like to know what was said to Hannah during the tarot card reading, and did it affect her to such a degree that she changed her plans? If that was really a tarot card reading and she was looking for guidance, who's to say she wouldn't take that guidance? A lot of people put faith in tarot card readers, I guess. Hannah's sister, Sydney, has said that Hannah always kept close to her more than anyone in their lives. And Sydney seems certain that Hannah would not do this to them. She would not cause them this amount of emotional distress. In her message to Hannah, Sydney said, "I can't stress enough how loved you are, how supported you are. We're really worried about you. No matter what situation you're in, you always have a home to come to." Sydney also said, "We are deeply grateful for the urgency and dedication law enforcement has shown in investigating Hannah's disappearance. Our family remains hopeful that Hannah is safe and urges everyone to continue the search. The search is far from over, and we are committed to doing everything possible to bring her home safely." So guys, keep an eye out for Hannah.